Hi. Well, I want to thank you for your ability to think long.
Wait. Go ahead. Start again. Go ahead.
I want to thank you for your ability to pursue those long thoughts. What you said about the war scroll, it sounded like where you place it in history is that it's something that has already occurred, and that it was the fight of the Essenes or those people against the Romans, and that they fought their wars. The short description you gave sounds like something a little more modern age, and I just want to know whether this is like you place it historically, or that's just...
Well, I'll tell you, it's a good question. You're going to have to read the documents yourself and decide for yourself. That's what getting your teeth into it means. I tell you, you read that war scroll, I find it a thrilling document. I'd love to stand up here and read it all to you myself, but you know, I don't have time to do that, and I didn't bring my annotated copy that I can pick out the good stuff for you. And it reads colorfully when you can pick out the good stuff, but it reads almost like a Cromwellian battle march. I mean, they have all of what's on the banners, all of what are on the missiles, all of what are on the slings, the power of God, the might of God, the glory of God, God's attack against his holy enemies, and so on. It's like Cromwell's army marching to war with their battle flags. It's the most incredible document. It may be purely imaginary. I don't say that it already happened. What I've said is this, that let us agree these are Essenes. But you see, we don't normally think of the Essenes as being as militant as this, as Cromwell's army. This is the new dimension. What I think we have here is holy Nazarite people, completely dedicated, if you like, as lifelong Nazarites to this holy existence, and that's why some sexual avoidance is there, because sexual activity brought, for their mind, maybe not for ours, pollution of the camps. I'm not in that boat, I don't think that, but they thought that. So, you know, that's why, for instance, the war scroll says, no young man, person, cripple, or half-wit, or someone with a running fount, someone who was spewing sperm on the ground or something could join the camps, because that made the camp impure to have to go bathe again. According to the ancient dietary bathing prescriptions, that was their mindset. So what I'm saying is this is a prescription for extreme militant activity. And either, you know, these are Essenes or they're not. If these are Essenes, then we've got to go according to these documents on how to define Essenes. If we go according to these documents, then they are both extreme, holy, committed, dedicated people, and are contemplating apocalyptic war against all evil on the earth. And your question is this coming soon? Is this symbolic? Or is it going to...
Has it happened yet, or is it to come?
I think that's what they thought the war against Rome was. And I think that's why people committed suicide on Masada. Masada is the fortress down from Qumran, and these are all new terms for some of you, but we speak about them so easily in the field because for us they're all old hat. Masada is down here. And I just believe that this is the fortress where these last holdouts in 73, after the fall of the temple, the Sicarii no less. I don't think they were Sicarii. In my view, in this book, I say that Sicarios in the Roman lexicon also meant circumciser, because circumcision then was known as bodily mutilation, and it was banned by the Lex Cornelia de Sicarios in Latin, the ban on bodily mutilation, Sicarios being the bodily mutilizer. And I think this is how the Romans saw, remember in the letter to the Galatians, if you know it, James's party is called what? The party of the circumcision. And Paul fumigates against that. It's all very complex. I develop it here. But my answer to your question, finally, is that this is what I think this group was. Call them Essenes, call them Zealots, call them Sicarii, call them Christians. I call them Messianists, extreme purity-minded Messianists. All these other terms float about them. But one thing in their own documents they are calling themselves in the Habakkuk commentary is Ebionim. Ebionim. And now you learned enough Hebrew to know that. I think I've got it right here. Probably put it down under here. There it is, the Ebionites. The first sect we started talking about that Eusebius said were so poverty-stricken because they had a poverty-stricken Christology. The Dead Sea Scrolls don't use any other familiar term to talk about themselves except Ebion. They literally cry out that they're Ebionite. I believe they are.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, is your first name Robert?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and
Well,
sharing
thanks
your knowledge.
for coming too. I appreciate your patience because I hate to put people through travail.
My blood family is mostly traditional Christian, and my question to you is, how do you view the new Christianity considering what you've uncovered?
Which new Christianity now?
That's my question. You spoke of a new Christianity.
Oh, I think that with James we get someone to put our teeth into with more satisfaction than we had this basic pablum we had previously. That, to my mind, was kind of sugar-coated, candy-coated children's games. This is the real stuff of Palestinian messianism. This is what we come to grips with, and I think can be very inspiring. You say, how do I know James was the real successor, someone asked. All the documents tell us. The church documents, even Paul, later on in the book of Acts, when it stops fooling around and gets into the we material in Acts 21, Paul comes up to Jerusalem. He's hurrying up there at Pentecost. Pentecost in the Dead Sea Scrolls, according to the Damascus document, is the day of the reunion of the desert camps. It's the same. Paul's hurrying to Jerusalem for the reunion of the early Christian community in Jerusalem. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, Pentecost is the day of the reunion of all the wilderness camps under the Mibakar, in Dead Sea Scroll language, the bishop. James is the bishop of the early church. He comes up to Jerusalem. Who does he meet in Acts now? It stops fooling us. James. And he goes in. And it says everyone gave praise to him. And then the leadership, James and the other brothers, the elders, and all the church assemblies say, but you see, Paul, we have heard that you're teaching everywhere, in every place, against the law, against this temple, and against this place. So we want you to go into the temple and show there's no truth to the rumors that we have heard about you. And this is word for word from Acts, that you regularly observe the law. This is James talking to Paul. And Paul defers, even though we know he's doing just that everywhere, according to the book of Acts in his own writing. And he says, yeah, okay, we want you to pay for Nazirite oaths of 4 people here under oath because you have a lot of money, because you've raised a lot of money overseas. This is the real stuff. You go in there and pay for these people to show there's no truth to the rumors that we have heard. And Paul agrees. But there's every truth to the rumors that we've heard. Paul has an answer for this in Corinthians. He's a Greek to the Greek, a Jew to the Jew, a lawkeeper to the lawkeeper, a lawbreaker to the lawbreaker. He will do whatever he has to do, he says, these are his own words, to win. That's how I fight, he said. I believe in winning. All the athletes at the stadium are vying for a prize. Basically, I vie for a prize that will never end, and using the wrestling language, that's how I fight, not beating the air. So this guy